Hello everybody, in today's video I will be trashing my old cutting board. Alright, get that new cutting board in. My god, Brustro sponsor me. Get the new lighting in. Boom! New setup alert, boys. Alright, with that out of the way, today's video will be making an action figure of PewDiePie. So let's begin by collecting some materials, shall we? Psych! We do some concept sketches first. It helps us plan out the action figure and it's a good way to plan stuff in a head. Now, let's go and collect some materials. Okay, let's just keep that on. It's actually quite uncomfortable to hold these in my hand. There you go. Cutting tools, wires and molded is all you need. But there's one last thing. And this is the super rare and ancient. It's a magnet. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. It's a two-part thing. And I'll attach it to the back of the figure. My sculpting process for this action figure was similar to action figures I have made before, in the sense that I began by sculpting a base shape under the entire figure and then sculpted over those with more sculpting material once they were dry to add details. Because of this method I was using, the initial shape of the body and the arms appears thinner than they will once they have been sculpted over. Now that the arms and the torso were dried, I started putting more molded onto them and started sculpting on details like the cloth folds, the cloth lumping up, as well as the chest plate and the straps which held it together. And as a final little touch and to add more three-dimensional depth to the action figure, I added a turtleneck to it. I intentionally did not sculpt anything on the back because I had to attach the magnet there later. Now I took a thin sheet of molded and put it over the places where I wanted the cloth to fold and bend, and I sculpted in some cloth bends there. This helped in bulking the figure up as well as adding more depth to all the details. As for the lower arms, I tried something different. I made some armor which I attached to the arms with the help of some molded tubes to simulate some strapped on armor. Sculpting the legs was fairly similar to sculpting the arms. The only difference was that I kept the lower legs very thin in order to create more dynamic shapes and to make the silhouette of the figure more interesting once the entire cloth was sculpted on. Speaking of sculpting the cloth, the pants I had made in the concept sketches were quite baggy, so all the folds in the pants I was going to sculpt were going to be a lot more prominent when compared to the ones on the rest of the action figure. Then obviously I completed sculpting the entire pants down to the lower legs, but I still kept some of the thinner under sculpting because our legs, anatomically speaking, get very thin at the ankles. As for the head of the figure, it was one of the most interesting things I've sculpted. Like most of my other action figures, I have a lot of fun sculpting the heads as well as adding details to them every time I try a new one. Now every action figure is kind of incomplete without accessories, and hold up. Is that the limited edition totally official PewDiePie tambourine Nintendo Labo merch? Let's see what happens when I hit it. Wow, such comedic quirky sound effects. I guess I won't be needing this anymore. So I made a tambourine for the action figure as well as a katana. Now, they obviously attached to the action figure. I'm not a dum-dum. The tambourine attaches on the side of the thigh and the katana slides into a hilt which I made on the right side of the waist. And as a final touch, I attach the washer of the magnet to the back of the action figure. And with that, the sculpting of the action figure is complete. All that's left is to paint it. But first, check out this 360 view of the action figure. Oh my god, turnabout. Am I a cool channel now? Am I cool now? Alright, now, time for the painting and whoa! Okay, now I'm gonna be using my old cutting board for the painting base, because why not? And as for the brushes, ooh, I'll be using two. A thick flat brush for the main colors, for blocking them in, as well as a thin round brush for all the swirly patterns and the little hair details and all that. Now, the paints I'll be using are these guys. Look at that. Beep, 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 beep. One of my personal favorite details was painting the swirly pattern on its knee pad. And as one last final detail, I added a wire which connected the headphones to the back. And obviously I had to check if the magnet attached to the back. By the way, this is a secret thing, this is a surprise that will be featured in another video. Now that the painting was complete, one last thing left to do was to varnish the entire figure, for which I used varnish spray. Obviously I don't like the painty stuff. That's about it, I guess. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you have any ideas. Wear your mask, stay safe, and bye bye. Here are some beauty shots.